7 proven sales tactics I use that help me close the sale. So this is for any industry or any niche or whatever you're selling. These tactics work for anything. I'm specifically growing a social media marketing agency for myself, and I close deals of $1,000, sometimes up to $2,000. So I'm pretty used to closing, high ticket sales. So in this part, I'm going to talk about 7 sales strategies that I use that help me close the sale and get paid. Let's get right into it. So if you don't know me, my name is Bogle, and I'm coming to you from the trenches, teaching you guys how to grow a social media marketing agency or digital marketing agency, and how to get results and all that kind of fun stuff. But this video, even if you're not trying to grow a social media marketing agency, maybe you're a salesperson trying to sell, insurance, maybe you're a real estate agent trying to sell a home, these sales tactics work, for any industry. These will work for you too. But before we get into it, please be sure to hit a like on this video, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I upload content at least once a week that talks about, mostly about how to grow a social media marketing agency. So if you're into that, please subscribe. But I also go into, different ways to, help you close the sale, prospecting, all this fun stuff. It's mainly related to social media marketing, agency growing. But if you're in any other niche, you'll definitely get a lot of value from some of the other videos I post, especially this one. So let's get into 7 proven tips that I've used to, help me close, a lot of high ticket deals. So the very first tip I really want to talk about is just helping people see the value of what you're offering. So you spent this time making a viable product or honing your skills. That way you can help the person either make more money, get into a new house, get the best insurance, etc., etc. So you spent all this time crafting, what you're offering, and now it's time to sell. But people usually don't see the value in a lot of things, so that's why they just focus on price. And that's why, sometimes no matter the price you say, they'll always say it's too high, and they'll try to barter you down to get you to the lowest price, to a point where you may become unprofitable. So if a person tries to do that, so if you name your price, so for social media marketing, let's say I'm selling a $500 package for the most part, right? And let's say they need to spend $500 on ad spend, so it's a total bill of $1,000. So if someone says, oh, that's too high, well, you need to show them the value. So you can say, okay, with the $500 of ad spend, you can expect to get around 7 to 10 leads. So according to what you said to me, which is kind of going to blend into the next tip, you said that you're able to close at least 20% of everyone who comes by. So if I get you 10 leads and you close two of them, you said that each sale that you make is a $3,000 sale for the most part, right? So even if you just close 2 sales, you get $6,000 in revenue. You say that you had like a 50% profit margin, so you've made $3,000 from the $1,000 investment that you made. So that's literally like showing them step by step, making them see the value visually. You just say the numbers from the information that you got during your, discovery call, your information call, and then you show them that, hey, you're making 2x a return on your money. That's the minimum. That's the bare minimum that you're gonna get. A 2x return on your money if you're able to close, 10 leads. And then, if you're able to close 3 of those leads, then they're gonna make, $4,500 or something like that in profit. So just saying the value point blank, just like how I explained it there, can really help. I actually did this with one of my kitchen remodeling clients. He said like, oh, I was charging $1,000 for my monthly fee for retainer, and he said, oh, that's way too much, I can't afford that. And I said, okay, how much does an average kitchen remodel cost? It's like, oh, it's around $35,000 for a kitchen remodel. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And if you keep 20% profit, which is what it usually is for contractors, like between 18 and 20%, that's $7,000 just from selling one kitchen remodeling job. So he's already made 7x on just my marketing fee for the most part, right? So, if he's able to sell 2, that's 14x, and you can see how much it goes higher from there. And it really helped convince him that, it's really worth the price. That's like a very small price to pay for something that could possibly lead to a lot greater of a return. So yeah, just stating the value right there can really help drive forward your point into getting that client. The second proven tactic, kind of closing into the first, is by asking questions that make them say that you are the person, you are the go-to person. So for example, going back to the first proven tactic, if I asked him, okay, how much does a kitchen remodel cost? He said $35,000. And I said, your profit margin's around 20%, right? He said, yes, that's what I told you. And then I said, okay, so if you sell one kitchen remodel job, how much money is that for you? And then I make him do the math. And then, he said like, oh, that's around $7,000, $5,000, $7,000, like that. And then I said, okay, how much of a return on ad spend is that if you just sell just one job? And then he said, oh, if I make just sell one job, then, that's $6,000 extra dollars. And because of that, because, he said it, not me, in his mind, that's more believable to him because he said the words that I am getting a good return on my ad spend if I work with, Aaron, or if I work with you for the most part, right? So, if you say it to them, they're going to be like, oh, you're just saying things, yada, yada, yada. But if you ask the correct questions for them to say it to you, then they're a lot more likely to be convinced and they're a lot more likely to sell for the most part. So another reason why making them say it is a lot more powerful is that that same client, he was reading off my proposal and all the different things I was going to do with him. As he was saying it out loud, he convinced himself, and it was, but like he convinced himself that, oh wow, this person's doing a lot for me.
Okay. Which is intensive Facebook targeting research, etc., etc., etc. That's intensive on you in the beginning. Okay. So, and I don't know, skip 65, 75, you're going to do a lot of work on the front end, looking at all this, the ad copy for split testing optimizations, which ad works best, intensive Facebook targeting research, installing back-end software for conversion. That's a lot, brother. That's a lot. I ought to really turn it around and give you $100 per, because you're going to have to do so much work on the front end. The more that I think about this,
I can really see the value that he's putting in, and that he's providing for me. Getting people to say that you are the person that they go to is so powerful. And as you can see in this clip, I also use this next tactic that really helped me close the sale. And this next tactic was, liking this video and subscribing to this channel, because that way you can learn all the information that helps me, close deals and stuff like that. And also, if you like this video, it's gonna push this to a new audience, so that way more people can see videos just like this one. And also, it's gonna encourage me to make more videos like this if you guys like, and if you guys subscribe. Overall, I'm going to make more videos about what you guys like, because that's the purpose of this channel. It's to serve you guys. So definitely leave a like, subscribe, also comment below. I respond to all the comments. But the third proven sales tactic that I use is silence. It's just, drop dead silence. Because when you use silence, two things are done when you use silence. The client is going to feel the need to fill in the gap, and they're going to talk to you and tell you more information. And also, two, you're not going to talk yourself into a hole like I have done a couple times. And maybe, you tell the client something you're not supposed to tell them, or you said something that gets the client to lower their price, etc., etc. So, just knowing to be silent and just knowing when to not talk is, it's really powerful in sales, because, if you keep talking and talking and talking, that's, people don't like to listen to other people for the most part. People like to be heard, but people don't like to listen. So, during your sales conversation, you should, be listening to the client talking, and you should, use silence to your advantage. So, once you name your price, stay silent until they say something. Or, as soon as they're done talking, don't immediately talk right after they're done talking. Count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you can talk, because then they'll either fill in the gap with more things they have to say, and they'll give you more information. And the more they talk, the more of the dopamine rush that they get, and the more they talk, the more they like you, and the more they like you, the more likely they are to actually pay you and give you money. So definitely use silence to your advantage. It's not a bad thing. And overall, being silent also gives you time to think as well, and it also gives the client time to think as well. They don't want to feel rushed, they don't want to feel pushed into it. So being silent is nothing but good things. So the fourth proven sales tactic is kind of more of a mindset thing, but you have to be willing to walk away if the deal is just absolutely no good. So if overall the sales conversation is not going the way you want it, or they're just not getting the idea and they're really trying to drive down the price, you have to be willing to walk away from the deal just hands down. Because, there are a lot of SMMA deals that, I could have taken and maybe earned a couple of dollars here and there, but it would have been so much work for me, so much stress. It just would not have been worth it. And I've done it before too. I think the best way to really learn about this is just to, take a deal that you really shouldn't have taken, and then just lose out, whether in terms of time, money, or in stress in the process. So never to take that deal again. Been there and done that. Overall, if you have the mentality of, I can walk away from the deal, either knowing that A, you still have money in the bank, or B, that you have 3 other deals lined up that are ready to go. It gives you that mindset of you're not going to be needy, you're not going to be trying to just discount. You don't need the client, so that way you're going to get the best possible deal for yourself, and you're not going to be worried about, oh, when's your next client coming in, and stuff like that. And the only real way to do this is to either A, experience not needing the deal, or B, just having a pipeline that's so full with amount of leads, sales calls, and all that stuff that you just feel confident that if this one doesn't go through, it doesn't matter. I have some other calls that are lined up. And overall, it just makes you a lot less nervous, makes you a lot more calm, and just having calm, assertive behavior is the best possible behavior you need in order to close, high ticket deals no matter what you sell. Because if you seem needy, if you seem desperate, desperation reeks, and it's going to drive people away, or people are going to take advantage of that and get really steep discounts from you. That might just make you unprofitable for the most part. So don't be afraid to walk away from the deal. If you're not afraid to walk away, sometimes even just threatening to walk away, that's going to, cause the person to be like, oh, wait, I actually want to, actually do business with you. And then you might be able to close the sale on your terms there. So definitely do not be afraid to walk away from the deal. So a fifth proven tactic, which is just a tactic that I've learned from a sales book inked by Jeb Blunt, is by doing weird discounts. So let's say your service is $1,000, right? So if people ask for a discount, and people do, you can say, okay, I'll give you a 3% discount, a 3.25% discount. So now the price is, so now you can say, okay, my price is now $965. So the purpose of doing weird discounts like this is because if people see a pattern, they're going to exploit the pattern. So if they see you give a 5% discount, which is a nice even number, they might say, oh, maybe you can give another 5% discount. But if you give a 3% discount, and then if you're going to give another discount, you give a 2% discount, and then maybe if they're getting closer to what you're saying, to the price you want, maybe you give them, a 6.8% discount. It may seem very weird, but it makes it seem more final to the opposing party, because, oh, if it's that specific amount of money, there must be a reason behind that. Even if you don't give them a reason behind it, it's so specific that, why would you do that unless you have a specific reason to do so? And then if they do that for a reason, just say, it's just your policy overall, right? And, it makes it seem that, since it's so specific, it stops right there. And they're probably not going to ask you for any more discounts. Or if they do, you just give them another, let's say a 2% discount. And now it's $954. And it just really makes it seem that that's the final price. Give it a try next time. A customer asks for a discount, just give them a really weird one. And then, they're most likely going to stop right there because it's a very specific price. And then the sixth proven sales tactic is just to ask for what do they want from the deal. So if they're giving you a hard time, or if they're not, maybe what you said doesn't resonate to them, just ask them at the end of hey, what are you looking for in this deal? Overall, what do you expect? What do you want from this package? Because that way they're going to lay out all their cards on the table. They're going to say, hey, look, we want this, we want this, we want a money back guarantee, or we're expecting this from you. And then what you can just simply do is just say, okay, yes, we can do that all for you. Are you ready to sign up today? Or are you ready to, can I send you the invoice? If you have all the cards out on the table on what they expect, you can handle each of those things. You can handle those objections, because the worst objections or the worst reasons why you don't make the sale are for reasons that you just don't know about. Because if you know about it, you can think of a solution to handle that objection, to handle that, criticism, or to, fulfill what they want. And if you know that, if you know how to fulfill that for them, you are much, much more likely to make the sale. And the only way you might be able to get it out of them is if you just simply just ask for it. So just ask for what do they want, and they're gonna tell you, they're gonna let you know, because if you've gotten this far in the sales talk, they want the deal too, and they'll let you know. So definitely just ask for what do they want, and handle it from there. And the last sales tactic that helps you close a sale is what happens after the sale, is following up. Just because, and I made this mistake before, just because you had the closing call once doesn't mean it's over from there. You may need to have multiple calls, multiple things. You may need to talk about multiple different ideas before you finally get that paid invoice. So you need to, follow up with the person, say, do you have any questions for me? If they're not going to make a decision, follow up with them, when they're supposed to make the decision. So if they say, hey, we'll let you know by 5 p.m. today, by, 5:30, call them, be like, hey, did you make a decision? Do you have any more questions for me? Keep following up with them until they say no, because if they don't, you are literally leaving money on the table, ready for, just on the table, not in your bank account. Because, people get busy, they may forget, and, if you don't follow up with them, you're just going to be cast in the shadows, while someone else who does follow up may, earn that commission or earn that income or get that deal. And that's going to wrap it up of the proven sales tactics that I use that helps me, close high ticket deals. If you want to see it in live action, click on the video up there, which is going to show my live closing call with an $1,000 client. If you just want to see how some of these tips that I use worked in action. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care.